Hey everyone, welcome to today's explainer. Let's dive right in. So if you're eating a kiwi every single day for your health, you might be thinking you've got your anti-aging routine perfectly locked down. And hey, don't get me wrong, kiwis are incredibly rich in vitamin C and undeniably healthy for you. But I actually have to challenge that common belief right out of the gate today. If you're seriously looking to reclaim a brain and a body that literally feels 10 years younger, just relying on a kiwi, well, it might not be enough. The science is pointing us toward a whole new tier of dietary defense. What if I told you that sitting right there on your local supermarket shelf is a mysterious black jewel? This single, incredibly affordable ingredient packs more than 10 times the anti-aging, rest-busting power of that kiwi. Literally just taking a spoonful of this #1 superfood every day can help reconnect neural pathways in your brain and send fresh blood pumping back into shrinking muscles. We're going to reveal exactly what this black jewel is at the very end of our top 10 countdown today, so stick around. But before we kick off the countdown, let's talk about why we're even doing this. We're targeting some very specific, really frustrating signs of aging. Have you been forgetting people's names lately? Or maybe you've noticed your legs feeling a bit weaker, causing you to stumble? A lot of people think these are just inevitable facts of getting older, but they're not. They're very often the result of body rust and inflammation that's just starving your brain and muscles. Today, we're diving into the direct, scientifically backed nutritional solutions to help wipe these problems out. All right, Section 1, Everyday Detox and Defense. Let's kick off our countdown with foods 10 through 8. Coming in at number 10 is the absolute king of detox, broccoli. Now, the magic here is a compound called sulforaphane. This is the stuff that activates your body's detox enzymes and clears out the reactive oxygen species that cause us to age. You know how vitamin C from our kiwi flushes out of your system in just a few hours? Well, sulforaphane keeps detoxing your body for a full 3 days. And here's a massive pro tip for you. Look for broccoli sprouts. These tiny, super cheap little sprouts pack 7 to 20 times more sulforaphane than a regular, mature head of broccoli. Eating them just twice a week is a complete game changer for your body's defense system. Moving right along to number 9, we've got the ultimate blood vessel protector, tomatoes. We all know they have lycopene, right? It's a pigment with an antioxidant power over 100 times greater than vitamin E, and it keeps your aging blood vessels nice and flexible. Now, you'd probably think a fresh raw tomato is the best way to get it, but raw lycopene is actually really hard for your body to absorb. Here's the counterintuitive secret. Taking cheap, canned tomatoes and heating them up with a little olive oil skyrockets your absorption by 3 to 4 times. So yeah, cooked canned tomatoes will actually make you younger faster than raw ones. No way, right? Okay, so every time we breathe, we take in oxygen, and some of it turns into toxic reactive oxygen that basically rusts our cells from the inside out. Scientists use something called an ORAC value to measure how well a food sweeps up that rust. I like to think of high ORAC foods as these adorable but totally industrial-strength vacuum cleaners just zooming through your bloodstream, and that perfectly sets up our next powerhouse. Which brings us to Section 2, Fueling the Aging Brain. Let's look at foods 7 through 5. So wrapping up our everyday defenders, at number 8 is the blueberry, which acts as a fantastic ORAC vacuum to boost blood flow in the brain. And right behind it, at number 7, is the ultimate brain food, walnuts. Nature even gave us a pretty obvious hint here, because they look exactly like a tiny little human brain. For centuries, folks thought foods that looked like certain organs could heal those organs. And for walnuts, it's actually scientific truth. They are packed with massive amounts of omega-3 fatty acids, which literally soften hardening brain cell membranes, letting your neurons communicate smoothly again. Let's step up to number 6 and see how we can build even more brain health. Here we have mackerel. It's totally loaded with DHA and EPA. These are essential fats heavily concentrated right in the memory and learning centers of your brain. Your body can't make them, so you've got to eat them. But here's the catch. When you grill mackerel, those precious, vital oils just drip right through the grates and they're gone. Canned mackerel wins this flawless victory because the fresh fish is sealed and cooked right inside the tin. That means all those non-oxidized, brain-saving fats are completely trapped in those delicious juices. Coming in hot at number 5 is the brain's very own garbage disposal, turmeric, and specifically its active compound curcumin. Neuroscientists are obsessed with curcumin because it actively stops the buildup of amyloid beta, which is basically microscopic garbage linked to Alzheimer's disease. But there's a massive catch here. Curcumin has absolutely terrible natural absorption. The crucial trick you have to know is that you must pair it with black pepper. Adding just a little black pepper forces your body to absorb the curcumin, boosting its uptake by a staggering 20 times. So you might be wondering, why are we feeding the brain all these specific fats and spices in the first place? Well, it's all about BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as brain fertilizer. There's this old myth out there that once brain cells die, they're just gone forever. That is completely false. When you feed your brain stuff like walnuts, mackerel, and turmeric, you stimulate BDNF, and that fertilizer allows your brain to grow brand new neural pathways and actually reverse shrinkage, even if you're in your 70s or 80s. Moving on to Section 3, Rebuilding Muscle and Blood. Here are foods 4 through 2. Down at number 4, we have a food so powerful that elite athletes use it for endurance: beets. Honestly, we can just call this a drinking blood transfusion. Beets have this unrivaled ability to create nitric oxide in your body. Nitric oxide acts like a natural, totally safe blood pressure medication. It forcefully, but safely, relaxes and opens up your blood vessels. And when those vessels widen, a massive rush of oxygen and nutrients gets pumped directly into your tired, aging leg muscles, giving you all that stamina right back. Next up at number 3 is the perfect protein: eggs. And we are busting that old, outdated cholesterol myth right here, right now. Government health guidelines have been updated to show that healthy adults can safely eat 2 eggs a day without any negative impacts on their cholesterol. In fact, for older adults, avoiding eggs can lead to a really dangerous lack of protein. Eggs literally have an amino acid score of 100, meaning they're the absolute perfect building blocks for your muscles. And the yolk is packed with choline, which feeds your brain. But look, having the perfect protein doesn't mean a thing if you can't actually deliver it to your muscles. And that brings us to number 2, cinnamon, and this kind of terrifying concept called ghost vessels. You see, 99% of your blood vessels are microscopic capillaries. As we age, these capillaries decay, they wither away, and they turn into ghost vessels. This literally starves your muscles of nutrients, and it's what causes that severe coldness in your hands and feet. Cinnamon is an incredibly cheap, sweet spice that actively triggers molecules to repair and rebuild the walls of these dying ghost vessels. So if you put these last 3 foods together, you get a complete muscle synthesis formula. Step 1, you eat your beets to open up the main highways and cinnamon to repair all the microscopic side streets. Step 2, you eat eggs to send those high-quality protein building blocks straight down those newly repaired roads. And step 3, those nutrients actually arrive at their destination, successfully rebuilding strong, capable legs. It's just a perfect, incredibly logical biological sequence. And that brings us to Section 4, the ultimate black jewel. It is time for the number 1 superfood reveal. Our number 1 is pure cocoa, also known as unsweetened cacao. This is it, our mysterious black jewel. Now, actually, let me be extremely clear about this. It has to be pure, unsweetened cocoa, not the sugary hot chocolate mixes you get in packets. Pure cacao is the supreme superfood because it basically does everything we've talked about today all at once. It forces your blood vessels to dilate, it massively increases blood flow to your brain, and it actively triggers the release of that amazing BDNF brain fertilizer we talked about earlier. Just to put this into perspective, remember our healthy little kiwi friend from the beginning of the explainer? Compare its antioxidant power to pure cocoa. It's not even close. Cocoa possesses dozens of times the rust-busting power of a kiwi. It completely dwarfs green tea and red wine. It is quite simply the most potent, full-body anti-aging food you can easily get your hands on. And you know what the truly amazing part is? The cost. 40 yen. A spoonful of pure cocoa is roughly 40 yen. We're talking just pennies a day. For just a few cents, you are getting the absolute highest grade anti-aging medicine that nature provides. All you gotta do is mix a couple of spoonfuls with a little hot water to make a quick paste, then stir in some warm soy milk and maybe a tiny dash of honey for some sweetness. It's just an incredibly cheap, luxurious daily habit. Finally, Section 5, your new daily routine. Let's talk about some simple food swaps. Now listen, you do not need to stress out and try to force feed yourself all 10 of these foods every single day. That's way too much. The key here is just playful rotation using some simple daily swaps. Instead of having a slice of sweet cake after dinner, swap it for a warm, comforting pure cocoa drink. Instead of mindlessly reaching for potato chips, snack on some walnuts or a handful of blueberries. And instead of always grilling your fish and losing all those good fats, just pop open a juicy tin of canned mackerel. Small conscious changes like these, they compound over 1, 5, and 10 years to completely transform your physical reality. Well, we've covered a ton of ground today, all the way from broccoli sprouts to the ultimate black jewel of pure cocoa. And that leaves us with one final exciting thought for you. The next time you walk into your local grocery store, don't just see it as running boring errands. Try to see it as a treasure hunt for your longevity. So, what do you say? Which of these precious jewels will you hunt for today? Pick one, drop it right in your cart, and start reclaiming your brain and body. Thanks so much for learning with me today.